Ladies and gentlemen, good morning.
Welcome to my Pollen Talk.
And welcome to my Pollen Talk.
So I would like to start with this graph that was posted in Chesapeake Bay magazine, Wanted Alive or Dead, Chinese Marin Crab. And even one more by California Wildlife Department. If you see it, like if you observe this species reported. So what did it do to be that wanted? That's what we're going to see in a minute. So initially, it is a species that originally come from China and Korea in some rivers there like Yangtze, and then it started moving to Europe. However, it is considered one of the invasive species under the regulation of 1143 that will be discussed more. So how did it come to Europe? Most historic facts suggest that it initially came like more than 100 years ago by ballast water. This is the technique how ships, mainly trading ones, took these viable organisms like mainly ovaries and so on, and was transferred to Europe. It started by some German scientists in 1933 studying the case. And what makes it harmful in Europe, basically it has a lot of ecological impacts. It is bad for riverbanks, it reduces flood resistance, it competes with native species. Moreover, it causes damage to fisheries, obstruction to migratory species and routes, and so on. All of these ecological impacts lead to more economical consequences. This is the potential distribution in Europe. We can see it mostly on Western Europe with some other potential distribution in some other like southern parts in Italy, in Spain and Portugal, but mostly the most impacted countries are obviously Netherlands, Belgium, and UK previously with Norway and so on. So the existing policies consider it as an invasive species with 88 other invasive species in total. And following the last update in 2022, it is still one of those species. So if we move a bit forward, under this regulation, member states are required to take actions for the pathways. They are required to prevent it, limit their trading, and manage this species in ecologically friendly ways. So if we move forward, there are other regulations already existing in the EU, like the Marine Strategy Framework Directive and the Biodiversity Strategy for 2030, aiming that these species in the red list species will be like eradicated, let's see, or decreased by 50%. So if we move a bit further, there is an international agreement for this ballast water management. It initially came into act in 2004 by International Maritime Organization and became effective in 2017. But as it is obvious, some European countries are still not participating in this act, which mainly has two standards. One of them is asking the ships to like evacuate their ballast water more than 200 nautical miles outside from the borders, basically outside the exclusive economic zone. And the second one is about the infrastructure of water treatment in these countries. So one of main ports for Europe, for example, in Italy, and they are not still taking place according to the last update, and the whole list can be found in that link. So if we move forward, my policy recommendations will be to encourage more European countries to participate in the BWM Convention, because it is one of those who started to tackle the issue of invasive species, and to invest more financial resources into the infrastructure within the EU for the water treatment, ensure tighter enforcement of the regulation, not only like treatment, not only like ecological management, but moreover more enforce, and increasing social awareness, like digital recording of those, because they have also been recorded in some swimming pools in Scotland. So it's becoming even more serious now. And applying like the early detection and management resources. is there a way out overall for the invasive species? Yes, there is a good project that has been funded by the European Maritime and Fisheries Fund, almost 465,000 euros for making use of invasive algal species and seaweed. And it was expected that the European market will be having a lot and more skincare projects and skincare products made mainly from seaweed, that they are making the max benefit of these species. So we are expecting to see something in crab as well.